Thank you all for being here. And just to say, you know, we don't choose Friday afternoons for these press conferences, but the risings always happen on Friday afternoons, so just to let you know that. So I do have a prepared statement, and I'm pretty much going to stick to it. I think it'd be safer that way. So today, I'm here to announce that a Monroe County grand jury has reviewed and acted upon an allegation that excessive force was used against Christopher Pate by members of the Rochester Police Department on May 5th of 2018. As a way of background, on May 5th, Mr. Pate was arrested by the Rochester Police Department for the crime of resisting arrest and the offense of disorderly conduct. Mr. Pate was arraigned in Rochester City Court. At his next court appearance, the charges were dismissed by the Honorable Maya Dixon. Judge Dixon found that the charges filed against Mr. Pate had been defectively drafted by the police. With the withdrawal or the dismissal of Mr. Pate's charges occurring at such an early stage in the proceeding, the review of the associated body-worn cameras by my office had yet to occur. And upon Judge Dixon's dismissal of the charges, Mr. Pate's file was closed. On August 10th, I received a letter from the Reverend Stewart asking that I review the dismissed case. Although I was not familiar with the particular investigation, I scheduled a meeting with the Reverend for September 11th. In preparation for my meeting with Reverend Stewart, I had brief conversations with then RPD Chief Simonelli on August 16th and on August 26th. And as a result, the matter was officially referred to my office for review on August 27th. While I typically do not comment on pending investigations, I was very clear from the onset that this matter would be presented to a Monroe County grand jury and that the grand jury would decide whether the police conduct was justified or whether there was a sufficient basis to file a criminal charge. I promised the public a full and fair presentation of the evidence, and that has occurred. Today, I'm here to announce that the grand jury has directed that Officer Michael Sipple be charged with the misdemeanor crime of assault in the third degree in violation of Penal Law Section 120.00 Subdivision 1. Specifically, the grand jury's allegation is that Officer Sipple, with the intent to cause a physical injury to another person, caused such injury to Christopher Pate. Officer Sipple will be arraigned in the Rochester City Court on November 15th. Under our law, the grand jury's charge is simply an allegation that a crime was committed. Like anyone else who is charged with a crime, Officer Sipple is presumed innocent unless and until a court finds otherwise. And because of the secrecy and nature of the grand jury proceeding, I cannot comment on any of the facts of the case, and nor am I permitted by law to disclose what occurred in the grand jury. I am only able to advise you what charge is being filed by the grand jury. And again, it is a charge of assault in the third degree against Officer Michael Sipple. So with those limitations in mind and knowing, knowing those limitations, does anyone have any questions for me?
The case was also presented, I assume, with the other officer that was involved in this incident? And that was a no-bill?
It was an investigation that was presented to the grand jury. And after everything, the grand jury has risen, and there are no other charges that are to be filed. No other charges are coming from this investigation. That's all I'm entitled to say by law. So if there was a consideration of another officer, he is not charged. There's no action by the grand jury against him. Again, the grand jury has only filed the one case, the one charge of assault in the third degree against Officer Michael Sipple.
You mentioned that you hadn't, at the time of his arrest, initially been able to review the body-worn camera footage. Have you since, and did the grand jury see that as well?
I can tell you that when the case was referred to my office back in August 27th, again, it was brought over to me that Monday morning, and I, along with members of my senior staff, reviewed the body-worn camera video and all of the paperwork that was submitted. And based upon that, we decided that the most prudent course of conduct was to present it to a grand jury. Again, I know what you're asking. I can't tell you what evidence was presented to the grand jury.
Do you know if Officer Sipple remains suspended from RPD?
I'm not aware of that. I do believe he is, but I cannot confirm that.
What kind of penalties does a charge of assault in the third degree?
You know, it's a misdemeanor. It can be anywhere from an unconditional discharge all the way up to a year in the Monroe County Jail or anything in between.
Can you give us your impression of the body-worn camera?
You know, at this point, I really don't want to comment on it. I did review it, and I'll leave it at that.
Because there was some indication that the body-worn camera may have been turned off during a portion of this interaction. Do you feel like you had a complete look at the interaction from start to finish? I guess is what I'm asking.
You know, I believe that the presentation that was given to the grand jury, including any body-worn camera evidence and testimony, you know, from people who were there, was clear. I don't think there were any issues with respect to the camera being turned off.
What would you like the community to know? I mean, you know, there's been some talk about police and community relations in the city and seeing this indictment.
But, you know, since then, you know, with the advent of body-worn cameras, and, you know, I've been on this job for 28 years, this is not normal. You know, we don't see this every day. You know, the men and women of the Rochester Police Department and law enforcement are out there every day, you know, putting their lives on the line. This is not the norm.
Do you know that if Officer Sippel's convicted of a misdemeanor, how does that affect his standing as a police officer?
I don't know that. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Does anyone want a copy of the